We all say we want privacy. And let me show you what privacy in America looks like. Hey, Google. Okay, Google. Phone turns on. It activates. You say, Alexa. Turns on. Activates. Billions of people use TikTok, Facebook, YouTube every single day. You carry a microphone, a tracking device that is owned by a private company everywhere you go. And all that information is controlled by private organizations that are not bound and constrained by the Constitution of the United States of America. And what do? They sell that data. They give that data. They transfer it to others with or without your consent through creative legal structures. Yet, every year, the new iPhone comes out. Every year, the new Samsung Galaxy comes out. Every year, the new watch comes out. How many of you say, I'm not going to buy that on grounds of freedom? How many of you are like Richard Stallman with Free Software and the Free Software Foundation, saying, I will only use open source, truly open source? It's real hard to get in contact with that guy. You have to talk to him over email with a server he runs himself, with software he wrote himself. That's the problem with being a purist. We want to have our cake and eat it too. We want to tell people how bad things are, yet we cling to safety. We say, well, we want a little bit. And how do we know this? Half of America was willing to succumb to wearing masks, vaccine mandates, and passports for public safety. Trust the science, trust these things. And even when things weren't as rosy as they made them out to be, or the science wasn't as clear as they made it out to be, they say, well, it is what it is. We'll still do it. These are nuanced, complicated issues. And if you're going to be a martyr, you have to bask in the simplicity and purity of going all in. You can't go half in, because what you end up doing is you damage the very thing that you're fighting for. Now, all the people that say Snowden, half of America gets to say, if not more, well, he's a traitor. By definition, he swore allegiance to an enemy of the state, which, by the way, has secret police, which, by the way, poisons its political opponents, starts wars of aggression, which, by the way, has no comprehension of freedom of the press. Just ask all the murdered journalists that are there. It actually runs an even more pervasive spy state than we do. But somehow that's a desirable alternative to live in. And then we get a reason, well, I was just stuck there trying to go somewhere else. Oh, okay. Meanwhile, go on the conference circuit, write books, have movies, be a celebrity whistleblower hero. Just doesn't sit right with me, because there are real martyrs, and I've met them, read about them, I've been inspired by them, I've seen them. They're few and far between, and they really are extraordinary people, because they don't care what happens to them. They don't care the consequences. They stand to remind us of our common humanity and the absence of it and the consequences of the absence of it. It's what makes them so special and so unique. The privacy movement has a long road ahead, because the technology has gotten too good. We're surrounded by microphones and cameras and a pervasiveness that would make George Orwell blush. And there's not a lot of regulation or control over these things to protect your privacy. One of the reasons why I'm so deeply embedded in the blockchain industry is because it's the only regulating function that can actually give you a guarantee that what's on the label is actually what's in the can. If you're promised something with a blockchain, you get at least a basic guarantee that that's probably true. There's nothing in life anymore like that. We can't trust our institutions anymore. We just can't. They've become morally bankrupt. We can't trust our leaders anymore. We can't trust the process upon which the leaders are accepted anymore. That's why our industry exists, in a nutshell. That's why we do what we do. It's why I work on things like midnight, because I say, what could actually give you some semblance of privacy back with some reasonable guardrails and boundaries so that you can actually live your life? But you have to do your part. If you truly believe in these things, nothing the NSA or the federal government has done will ever compare to the amount of information that Google knows about you or Facebook knows about you. Nothing, because it's their business. And they've hired hundreds of thousands of engineers, data scientists, researchers to wake up every single day. They've built the world's most sophisticated artificial intelligences to wake up every single day and understand just a little bit more about you, because they have a financial incentive to do so, and no one controls it. That's the dirty reality and truth of the world that we live in. It's getting so bad you don't even own anything anymore. There are BMWs being sold right now where you have to pay a subscription to have heated seats. And if you don't, they get turned off. When you buy content now, movies, songs, these types of things, you used to have physical media, physical discs. You don't have that anymore. Guess what? They're now basically part of a platform. And if you get deplatformed, you lose access to all of your subscriptions. Book is inconvenient. It's on Kindle. You wake up one day, the book is gone. This is why the motto, you'll own nothing and be happy, is repeated gleefully again and again by the Weffites running around. Why? Because there's truth to it. People are walking towards a world where you can't even repair stuff. The right to repair? Look it up. You want to know why I don't like John Deere anymore? Well, it's very simple. It's really hard to repair this stuff. You can't just swap parts. It doesn't work anymore. Software prevents you from doing that. This is the world we're heading towards, a world where you control less and less. More and more decisions are made for you, not even by people, but by algorithms. It's an incestuous relationship between the private industry and the governments of the world. And in many cases, many of the smaller governments no longer even have the power to say no. They're told by a large global order what to do. That's the problem. And that's why the blockchain industry exists. Why people are fighting hard every day, writing software every day, and deifying certain people who aren't martyrs, who benefit financially and haven't made huge sacrifices. Doesn't accomplish anything. It diminishes the movement. We don't have to have martyrs anymore because we are all living the consequences of this. We've all felt this. Whole world got shut down for 2 years and no one owes us an explanation for it. Every day, more and more freedoms are taken from us and no one owes an explanation for it. And we're told to sit down and shut up. And any person who tries to make it a little bit better is instantly villainized and burnt to the ground. That's where we're headed towards. Okay, it's not very pleasant. So I stay optimistic. And I stay optimistic because I believe that there's enough people in the world who are tired of this, that they don't want to see this anymore. They don't want to endure this anymore. They're tired of believing that tomorrow will be worse than today. I don't want to go down that road. I don't think you do. So what you have to do is return to first principles. And you have to fight for the things that you believe in and accept that every day there are going to be some sacrifices, and every day there's going to be some ups and downs and losses. Nothing is free in life. You have to take your hard knocks, and you have to accept that there are going to be internal hypocrisies in all of us. People always say what they want, but what they do is far more important because that tells you what they truly want. We have to be honest about that.